Welcome to another edition of your Sorrow Sports Business Show, Sport Exchange. My name is Jide Olaniro, and today it promises to be another exciting time because on today's show, we will be focusing on you. In case you're watching me and now you're interested in getting something, something impactful or getting your career trajectory in sports, improving yourself as well as getting yourself engaged in the sport industry. This is the show for you today because today we'll be promoting career growth in sports. That's the conversation, how to promote career growth in sports. We'll be talking to someone, an expert who is vast and who is working in that industry, linking sport professionals with their dream jobs, as well as trying to expand the sport ecosystem for the professionals to take charge and to get the job that is fit for purpose. That's what we'll be doing on today's show. Once again, thanks for joining me. This is Sport Exchange, and we'll go on a short break. And when I return, it will be time for me to join my guest, where we'll be breaking things down so that you can learn how to take up your destiny into your hands as far as sports business or the sports ecosystem is concerned. Don't go away.
Fantastically finished.
Welcome back and straight to the business of the day. I'm going to be joined by the Chief Executive Officer at I Work in Sports. That is it. They're based in Switzerland. Yes, I wouldn't believe Switzerland, Lausanne, Switzerland. That's where I Work in Sports is based. And João Figueiro is the Chief Executive Officer. By the way, the I Work in Sports is the global hub for recruitment, career growth, and education in sports. So, João Figueiro joins me all the way from Switzerland on today's show. João, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks for putting on the Nigerian jersey there. Thank you very much.
Hi, Jide. Thanks for the invitation. Thanks for having me. Yeah, this is a gift that I got from a good friend of mine, Samson Adamo, who's at CAF at the moment.
Oh.
I went actually with this shirt to watch Nigeria and Argentina in Russia. Didn't bring much luck then. The Argentinians weren't very happy with me, but I was supporting, of course, Nigeria then. But I thought that I would wear it since I have so many good friends from Nigeria.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's move on straight to the business of the day. Yes, as the Chief Executive Officer of I Work in Sports, just break it down for us. Let us know, what is I Work in Sports all about?
Sure. Well, I Work in Sport, it was first born as an event, the first international job fair or career fair focused in sports, right? Since that, it's evolved and now became a global hub for everything that has to do with the recruitment, career growth, and education in sport, right? So if you go to our portal, you will have tips on how to advance your career in our blog, or you can find career coaches in our, there's a coaching marketplace. You can find many programs if you want to study. And obviously a job board that aggregates multiple job boards into one to help you find the opportunities for you.
All right. Okay. Well, now let's talk about this. Sport is a specialized industry. And what is your thought that those who run sports must be fit for purpose?
Well, it's, sport administration, if you will, is inevitably becoming more and more professional, right? And I think that's, part of that you can see perhaps a trend that had started, I don't know, almost 30 years ago. with the sports management programs, right? For instance, I did the FIFA Masters almost 20 years ago, and there's so many other programs out there, right? So the idea is that you must really treat sports as a business in a way, and so that's a trend that's going that way, and inevitably there's no way back. So anyway, you don't need necessarily to say take a program like the FIFA Masters or a different one, but you must always educate yourself and try to improve, right? If I may mention also, I was talking about Nigerian friends, right? Some of them I know that did sort of a similar path that I did, and came to Europe to study sports management. And some are going back to their countries or the continents, others stayed here. So I mentioned Samson, who's at CAF, is one example. He's a commercial director at CAF there. Amobi Isiako just graduated from the FIFA Master here in Europe and went back, and I think just started this week or last week as
right.
General Secretary or CEO at the Rangers International. Is that correct?
Exactly.
There,
Exactly.
Debola Adebanjo is at FIFPro in Amsterdam doing communications there. So that's, it is a fit for purpose. You must educate and prepare yourself to work in sport, and I'm very happy to see that many Nigerians are doing so.
Thank you very much. All right. Okay, the next one will be, maybe you can tell us how I Work in Sports process of getting, tell us the I Work in Sports process of getting industry professionals their dream job. Because I know that just a few months ago, I can't remember now, there was this fair that you organized.
Yeah, it was in June.
You were so busy there that I couldn't even get you to speak about it. But maybe that's one of the processes you let us know.
Yeah, indeed. Actually, I would say probably that's the main one, right? We're not a recruitment company, so we don't really connect ourselves, people, to jobs, but I mean, specifically one by one, but we organize the first international job fair for sports, right, in the world. And so people come to the events, and they will find stands from several sports organizations. For instance, our event, I think, is the only one that you will go and you'll find a stand with the Olympic rings for the IOC, right, the International Olympic Committee, and there's a stand for FIFA and UEFA. And CAF is, excuse me, another institution that hires there. For instance, they got their commercial director there last year. And so the job fair is definitely one of the ways that we do that. The other ways we help people is, if they go to our platform, they will see many insights, tips of how to advance their career. As I mentioned, they can find a list of career coaches that they can get in touch with. And we also have a community called We Work in Sport. So our company is called I Work in Sport. The community is weworkinsport.com, where people can join for free. And one of the things that we do there, we have career coaching sessions with professional coaches that will help you to progress in your career, perhaps finding your dream job.
And I've seen a lot of testimonials as regards some of those that watched some of those programs, or some of the things you've done have helped some to get into some of those international organizations. And maybe that will be the next question, because I know a lot of students who are still who are high in some of those jobs in those international bodies, as well as coming fully into the sports industry. What advice would you give students who want to work in the sport industry?
Right. Listen, obviously there are many things that one can say, and it depends from the situation of each one. But in general, one thing that I always tell the students is to think outside the box and have an open mind, really, when it comes to working in sports. because the large majority of people, when they come here and they say that they would like to work in sports, they will either say that when you ask them what they want to do, they don't tell you what type of job that they want to do, but where they want to work, right? And normally they will tell you either their football club or a football club in general, or one of the three major sports organizations, say FIFA, UEFA, or the IOC, sometimes CAF or others. But what I tell them is that there's so much more than that could help you. So if you think outside the box and think of a Silverbird TV, perhaps there's an opportunity there for you. And I'm sure that you're connected with so many, players in sports, or even a small company like I work in sports that deals with so many other companies and sports marketing agencies. So there's so much more out there. That's probably my biggest advice. Don't just focus on a few things, but think of sports as a broader universe for you to work on.
But there are other people right now too, aside students, of course, it's good for students to learn. There are others who are already in the business, who are already working in the ecosystem, maybe as professionals though, but they don't really have the kind of wherewithal to progress as far as this industry is concerned. I know how do you counsel this kind of people, especially because I know that there is a level of expertise you need to get for you to scale up. So for those who want to scale up, what do you think they should be doing?
Again, I think that it really depends on each one's reality and possibility. Obviously, taking a program like the one I did is wonderful, but not everyone can do that because of time or some other constraints. Perhaps there are other types of online courses. Perhaps attending conferences and events. It's really important. So networking, I think, as in any other business, is important, but perhaps in sports even more. It is, in a way, it's a small kind of world, and it's important that you actually get to know it firsthand in person. So maybe attending events is another advice that I would give.
All right, let's quickly go on a break now. Don't go away yet, because I still have the Chief Executive Officer of I Work in Sports. I Work in Sports. They're based in Switzerland, and we're talking about how to get yourself in a career growth path as far as sports is concerned. That's what we are looking at. We'll go on a break, and when we return, Zhao is still very much with me, and I still have some questions for him.
Fantastically finished.
Welcome back. It's still Sport Exchange, and I'm your host, Judy Oladuro, and we're talking about getting yourself, promoting, a growth path as far as a career growth path as far as sport is concerned. That's what we are talking about on today's show. So, and I have the Chief Executive Officer of I Work in Sports, who is Zhao Figueiro. Zhao Figueiro, by the way, is based in Switzerland, and that's where I Work in Sport is. They organize industry fair for sports-based industry fair for professionals and those who want to work in the industry. And Zhao, thank you very much once again. Zhao, let me ask you this, because we've of course, if you look at the question, they've been about how best to get hands-on in the industry. For everything, there will always be drawbacks and challenges. What do you think are the drawbacks, challenges of working in sports industry? If there is any.
That,
I'm not putting you under
yeah,
pressure.
that's a good question. I can't really think of any
Mm,
big sort of drawback,
mm,
right? Obviously, you know, you know, many people work in sports will normally have to work at nights and weekends. That's when the sports events take place. But they know already that, right? And perhaps there's a lot of traveling, and it's one of those things that's when you start, probably when you're younger, that's very exciting. Actually, gets to go to many places, and then you can maybe get a bit tired of it. Maybe one thing that people might think is that working in sports, it pays super well because you see Cristiano Ronaldo's and Messi's of the world and making millions and big deals, and that's not the case as well. Actually, I think compared to many other industries, sports probably pay less. There's a lot of competition, and there's so many people willing to work for free because that's their passion. That in a way is so good because you're there at the moment living your dream or doing something you love. But on the other hand, it's maybe a bit harder to actually make money. um, I think those are some of the drawbacks, but I don't think there are many.
mm. But of course, looking through your website, I know I saw that there was this yearly, is it like an awards that you do, your organization? Your
Yes,
organization does something with like the best place to work for the year, in the
we
sport
do.
industry. I think I've seen something like that via your website,
We do.
and
We
how did
do.
you get that? Of course, because it's like a directory for those who want to work in the industry, and it's good because it actually kind of it's well researched, and it gives an insight into the industry for people who want to come in, or who are already there, who are looking for better jobs, or who just want to transit from maybe another sector to sports. So how do you guys manage to come with that every year?
Yeah. So a good question. So that ranking in a report is really it's called the most attractive employers in sport, and as the name infers, it measures employer branding. So it's really about where people would like to work. So we can ask anyone in the industry. The large majority of people that reply to the answer already works there or are studying and plans to work in sport. And basically, we ask if you could work anywhere in sport, where would that be? And then they have categories like football clubs or governing bodies or sponsors, and they can answer by that. So that's different than actually working or finding out which are the best employer, right? Maybe this is something that we'll do in the future. It's a more complex, I think, research that we need to work in partnerships with the companies. But this one in particular, we just do an online survey. I think we had 1,500 plus people replying to that from almost 100 countries. And telling us, if they could choose anywhere to work, where would that be? And that's how we do that ranking.
Mm. For 2023, I think you have that already, where people would love to work. And
Yes, we do.
topping that list will
We do
be,
have several categories, but if we take the overall, the winners of this year was FIFA, I think, came first, with the International Olympic Committee second, and UEFA third.
all right. Finally, before I let you go, of course, let me ask you this, because this is actually important. We've spoken about the way the industry, what you perceive as the way to take up a challenge, or to take up a job, or to take up a career in sports. But again, what is the future of human resources in the sport industry? What do you think it will be? Because there are a lot of disruption also coming in. There are a lot of we are in the age of artificial intelligence to AI and all those things. So what do you think is the future?
Yeah, well, very good question. I think the first thing that I have to say is that I'm not really an expert in human resources, right?
Mm.
We do events and we bring a lot of people from human resources together, and I work with them, but I can't say I'm expert on that. But we actually did a survey and a workshop with many recruiters and HR professionals from sports that attended the job fair a couple of months ago. And we asked them exactly about that. So we found out that, one of the biggest challenges that they have is attracting the best talent, right? It's a great competition out there because they don't compete only, in the sports industry. They're competing with other companies like Google or Facebook or Coca-Cola or others. They really talked about adapting to the Generation Z or Gen Z needs, right? And one thing that they talked about is really hybrid working is something that it's here to stay. Although we see some companies now that want to bring people almost 100% to the office again, that's a challenge for them. They talked about culture and investing in culture of the organization, and transparency. So these are some of the topics that these professionals raised. One of the things that we brought up as well is that Gartner, a big research company, also published on HR that one of the biggest challenges is to prepare employees for leadership roles, right? This is a big challenge for HR. I mean, these are a few topics that I know by reading and talking to them. As I said, I'm not sort of the expert. One thing that we do is we also create the community exclusively for professionals working in human resources and talent acquisition in sport, right? So if we have any such professional watching there in Nigeria, and if you would like to join, it's a community with people from FIFA and IOC and Los Angeles 2028 and CONCACAF and many other confederations in sports organizations. Get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to get you as part of that as well, as a community for all of those professionals to share knowledge.
Well, that's fantastic. I love the way you drop it there, and I hope that a lot of people who have interest in working in the industry will take advantage of that opportunity that you have for them, especially the community. I've been talking to the Chief Executive Officer of I Work in Sports. I Work in Sport, by the way, is the global hub for recruitment, career growth, and education in sports. João Figueiro, who joined me from Switzerland. Thank you very much, João, for talking to me. I really appreciate it and hope to see you again. I know this conversation cannot end because it's a big industry. Something can happen tomorrow that will warrant me having you again as a guest so that we can look at it together. Thank you very much for sharing your experience with me.
Jide, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Just to tell all the Nigerian friends there interested in sports, they can find more information at iworkinsport.com without the S at the end, so it's sport, singular. And if they want to join our community or the people working in sports, they can go to weworkinsport.com.
Okay, that's it, weworkinsport.com. Thank you very much, João, once again. I wish you all the best. Well, that's it for today's edition, or this edition of the show, of course. So in case you want to start, the best time to start is now. So you have all the resources there. All you just need to do is just go search for iworkinsport.com or weworkinsport.com, like I said, if you want to join the community. Till I come your way next time, I'm yours truly today, tomorrow, and of the future in sports, Jide Olaniran, saying bye-bye for now.